What's up? Family, welcome back to part 3. How is the state of the jiu-jitsu community right now, and the students that you're talking to, how are they feeling about their jiu-jitsu and their hearts?
Not even that I'm talking to, but just seeing on social media people writing things like, oh, I gotta get back to the mat, I'm going crazy, 14 days with no jiu-jitsu or whatever it's been, I need to roll, I need, and don't get me wrong, I love jiu-jitsu and I understand where you're coming from, but be aware of how you complain about not being able to be at your jiu-jitsu school. Just be aware of it and see where else can you direct that energy. Maybe you can give a little bit of energy to doing jiu-jitsu at home by yourself. Can you work on your flexibility? Can you read more about the history of jiu-jitsu? Right? What videos can you watch? Who can you call? Can you have conversations with friends of yours that have been training for a while?
Yeah, I love it.
Anything, so much can be done while not going to your jiu-jitsu school. And even if you have to stop doing jiu-jitsu altogether for a month or two, that's okay, or 3 months. Especially if you see yourself as a long-term, lifelong jiu-jitsu practitioner. And you know what I think about is there are, I'm going to train jiu-jitsu for as long as my heart is beating. I see myself being 80 years old, still around the mat.
That's a good t-shirt design. Next.
Now, if that's true, I already know that there are going to be other events, other things are going to happen. There will be other challenges thrown at me to where I can't do jiu-jitsu. Maybe 7 years from now, 2 years from now, 15 years from now. And for those of you that see yourselves being around this art forever, you're on the same boat. Life happens. And when life happens and you can't go do jiu-jitsu, stop and just think, what would jiu-jitsu do? If jiu-jitsu itself
Was trapped in coronavirus.
what would jiu-jitsu do? Would it complain?
Got it.
Or would it just say, okay, I can't do this, but I can do this?
Right.
And so it's almost like it's a test, it's a reminder, it's an opportunity for us
To practice jiu-jitsu.
to practice jiu-jitsu.
So, it's not jiu-jitsu to complain and mourn over not being able to do jiu-jitsu.
Especially 14 days in.
Yeah, we got some time to go. It might be a little longer, friends. It might be a little longer, the way things are looking. And Evandro's here helping us on the comments and the questions again. He said, Henner, everyone keeps talking about, I want things to be back to normal. No. Let me finish.
We know what they mean though, but go ahead.
I know. But Evandro said this. He said, Henner, you don't want to come out of this and things be back to normal. We should all be supercharged in ways that we weren't before we went into this. We've never had so much free time. We've never had so much time to think and be and just exist. So anything you want to learn, grow, do, anything's possible within the confines of your house and social distancing. You guys, you shouldn't come out of here and be normal. You should be you 2.0 by the time we exit this coronavirus dip underwater.
That kind of falls to, spending a lot of time complaining about what you can't do.
Yes.
And not realizing how much you can do.
Bottom of the mount. You're trapped in the bottom of the mount. If all you're saying is, man, I can't bench press this guy, I can't choke him, or I can't triangle him,
or I can't trap and roll.
I can't get out right now.
I can't escape even with techniques.
Stop thinking about all the can'ts.
What you can do is you can neutralize all of their submissions.
Break them psychologically.
Yes.
Like we talked about.
Conserve a lot of energy. Understand their systems of attack better.
And then 2 months later, when you escape their mount, you have all their systems dialed in and you have all the counterattacks ready to rock and roll. Should we start?
We should start.
Welcome back. You guys, jiu-jitsu is not jiu-jitsu to complain about not being able to do jiu-jitsu.
Now, it is jiu-jitsu
to recognize
you're complaining.
It is jiu-jitsu to recognize your complaint, and it is jiu-jitsu to do jiu-jitsu in a manner that is manageable right now. And that is learning, watching more than you've ever watched, practicing solo drills, partner drills, everything very much contained, but you still can progress, and that's why you're joining us here today. We're honored to have you. Your attention and your time and your energy is priceless. So for you to be tuning in right now means that this is important to you. And if you guys are 100, 200, 300 people or 3,000, that means that it's 3,000 times important to us to be here with you guys and to communicate jiu-jitsu because
usually when we say something like, you could be doing so many other things right now, but you're choosing us.
Yes, and we choose you guys.
You could be watching, I don't know, a movie.
There you go.
But you're not.
So let's do this, guys.
movie.
Today the topic is guard. Guard. Generic guard. And guard, if we have to choose top of the guard or bottom of the guard, the general is bottom because life sucks a little more when you're on the bottom of the guard and you got taken down and you're on the bottom. You're bottom of the fight against someone bigger and stronger. So we'll start with the bottom of the guard.
In a street fight.
It's more worst case scenario in a street fight or in your training partners, but yes.
No, you're saying guard sucks a little more when you're in the bottom.
I see.
In a street fight.
I see.
Everybody out here, most people rather be on the bottom of the guard. You don't have to even ask them. I already know. I've already asked the whole world.
Really?
3 times over.
What do they say?
They love being in the bottom.
Really?
Yeah. People, when they're in the guard, they now have to avoid submissions, avoid sweeps, and they got to get past somebody's legs.
Yeah.
And some people's legs can be really annoying.
Interesting. So that being said, guard. We'll start on the bottom and then we'll evolve from there. The question is, where do you guys want to start?
I have an idea. How about we show the first submission that you ever beat me in?
Damn, I'm not mad at that.
You don't mind showing that?
Let's do that. You guys, there was a day where after 17 years of abuse, getting beat up, tapped out in front of my grandfather.
You see his abuse. I see it as 17 years of building.
Investing in me, right? Yeah, sure.
Building.
It's hard to feel that investment.
I was shaping you, bro.
Listen, when you're the nail, it's hard to feel the investment of the hammer.
No, completely different. No, it's not about nail and hammer, but go ahead.
But so anyways, you guys got beat up for so many years in front of my grandfather. And what's crazy is my grandfather wanted me to win. The little brother wants to beat the big brother. He wants the little brother to beat the big brother. But he was 2 years older, so it wasn't happening. So he would coach me and get frustrated sometimes, and I'm there, and my grandfather, and he don't just bah, 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 bah. Relentless. And then my uncles watch sometimes, and I get beat up in front of all the legends, and it was just tough being a little brother. However, it made me who I am today, so I am grateful, and it made me capable of sitting here today to talk to you guys. And I forgive him because it did make me who I am ultimately. Now, the submission, it was the day. I remember the exact day, the time of day.
Thursday.
Yes.
Where about 12:30.
What mat it was on, where it was on the mat. It was on this corner of the mat at the old Gracie, original Gracie Academy.
There's a window behind our backs.
Yeah, there was a window behind our backs, and we were tucked in the corner, and it was just him and I in the room. We were just sparring like 17 and 19-year-olds do, and we think that, you know, we got to just represent and get better and better and better. Just iron sharpens iron. So we're boom, 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 boom.
So nobody was in the room.
Yes, no witnesses. We didn't have cameras either, you guys. That was the biggest pain of the victory. But here's what happened. In the scramble, we were just going up again. You have to understand, up until this point, kids, I had never even gotten close to submitting Hidon.
Did you just say kids?
Yeah, they're.
What do you call them kids?
Well, here's 2 things. Number 1, we just finished our first Bully Proof seminar, so the kids are watching some of them. Number 2 is that you guys are all jiu-jitsu kids.
Got it.
If you're not, you know what I'm saying? If you're not instructors and owners of schools, you're still kids when it comes to jiu-jitsu, and that's out of respect, right? And
so you spent a lot of time on your back those days.
Well, I had no choice. That's why we're going to do guard today. I love you guys. For the first 17 years of my life, it was all bottom defending and then attacking from the guard if I got lucky enough to get him in my guard. So we're scrambling and we're going and something's happened and suddenly it goes boom! It was the other side. You sure? Yeah. Boom, 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 boom! Triangle setup happened. And instantly, from triangle setup, there are a couple different defensive options. And Hidon went for one.
Which actually works very well.
Yeah, when you put this knee in the center of my hips, you slip it in. Look.
So hands on his body, and kind of maybe stand up and bring my knee.
Boom.
Right here, right through the center. This is my knee right here.
To kind of make that space right there. And the idea being that, like, even if I get his head down, the idea is by slipping out the back right here, like kind of pushing off, he can back out and be gone. Slip out of the triangle. Okay? So when I locked triangle setup and I felt freeze right there, I got tighter. Boom.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that tight.
It was this tight, full lockup. Otherwise, it wouldn't have got you. So I got the full lock. He was, take that knee out now, try to slip your chin and elbow out, try to slip out. Just start backing out even without the knee, like just ducking your head out, yeah. So then it got stuck, and then right away I went here. Boom. And he was even further out. Like, take your knee out, please. Just go on your knees and just pull this elbow out and start shrugging my shoulder out. Yes! It was like,
No.
yes, you got to hear.
No, my knee was in the party.
Okay, his knee was in the party, but it was at least this was very close to my hips. Like it wasn't like a little in. It was very much here. So put your knee in now if you want. I was like this, right there. This is what it looked like. You guys, I just had a full glory flashback right now. So Hito tried to slip out of my triangle, and I caught him. And then it was such a fast submission because it wasn't even a choke, right? It was the arm bar. As he slipped out, and he quick tap. It was like not even the 1, 2, 3, 4. It was the hey, hey. Yeah, it was one of those. And I was like, I couldn't believe myself that the unsubmittable was submitted, and I went, and I let go. And I didn't know what to do. And then Hito didn't waste any time. He was like this, and he just attacked me. I got tapped 6 more times within 6 minutes, and that was it. No one ever talked about it. No one ever mentioned it until now.
That's not true.
No, I mentioned it a few times when I give speeches in front of large crowds. I always mention it.
Guy, when you do public speaking events.
Listen, that for me, the biggest lesson in all of this was the impossible was possible. I didn't know it. I didn't know it could happen. And I just continuously going ta 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 ta. And the truth is, how do I know he don't submittable if I had never submitted him up until that point? What had happened was the frequency of him catching me went from 10 times in 10 minutes, like bah, 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 to 7 times in 10 minutes, to 4 times in 10 minutes, to 2 times in 10 minutes. Once it was 2 times in 10 minutes, I was defending well his major attacks, blah, 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 blah. And then if he makes one mistake, I would fire, but I would never catch. I would fire, but never catch. And so the ratio of defeat went down over time. And for you guys, many of you train with more advanced training partners, and it's so frustrating because they just catch you and you don't know what side is up and you don't know what to do and what to look forward to. What you should know is this. Don't see catching them as your only indicator of victory. You should use the frequency of defeat. As that diminishes, that's also an indicator of progress. If you can just neutralize their best move 10 more seconds longer than you did last time, that's also a victory. So I think that hidden in all of this is, in order to stay motivated, you have to make sure you have the proper indicators that let the proper gauges to tell you, are you progressing or not? Now, one simple gauge, if you come to class, you're getting better. There's no excuse. There's guaranteed. It's impossible to do jiu-jitsu and not get better at jiu-jitsu. It's impossible to ride a bike and not get better at riding a bike. It's just the way it works. Possible to surf and not get better at surfing. Repetition, there's no excuse. Driving, you're going to get better at driving. No matter what it is, it's the same. But sometimes you need additional indicators, and that was one of them for me.
Hey, Hannah, Danny's asking if was Hito's knee the fulcrum of the arm lock?
No, my pelvis was. The question is, was Hito's knee the fulcrum of the arm break? The answer is no.
There is no doubt that my knee was underneath there.
He was trying to get out, but this got stuck on my hips, and I felt it. And the beauty of the triangle is the further in you are, and let's just go into the position just even without that. So from the triangle, the further, let's say I lock this up here, get inside the triangle more, like come in, open up, like, just open up your shoulder, and yes, the further in Hito is, the less this arm is in danger. The more he slips up, you start ducking your head a little bit, start ducking, right there. Look, the more breakable. Because his elbow goes right on my hips, and this was the final sensation. He did use his knee to facilitate the removal, but that's it. If you go in, you're chokeable, but you're not unlockable. Yeah. If you go out, you're not chokeable because your chin gets crushed up high and your arteries are protected, but your arm is right in the pelvis. It's a very high-risk escape because you're going to back up. Should we show the escape correctly, standing up one time, or will you stand and
you
slip
can
out?
show it on the ground correctly. When you back out like this, you have to narrow yourself.
Yes.
And when you narrow yourself, this wide elbow, which could be potentially buying me some blood flow right here.
Yes.
So this slipping out, even to make the triangle possible.
Yes.
Because the arm lock is possible, but the triangle itself.
Just to lock my legs. If you're wide right here, it's hard. But then,
correct. Let's say the moment that you lock the triangle, you go for the arm lock. Squeeze to it. If right here, while you're going for the arm lock, right, squeeze. Let's say it was out less. Like that. Go for it. Feels good, right?
Yeah.
If I go like this, now what are you gonna do?
Back to the triangle. Boom.
So there was, even if I would have ran forward and back into
Which
it,
would have been probably one step longer of survival. But it was such a fast tap that there wasn't a time to come in. But yes, so slipping out. So how do you do this?
so here's the move. So I'm not a huge fan of this escape, obviously, right?
Drama.
But once my knee is in the party, not even being in a hurry to slip my head out.
Yeah.
Being more in a hurry to, grab onto your gi, grab onto your pants right here, your belt, keep my elbow wide, push my shin forward, lift my head up. How do you feel?
Nothing.
So just to sit here a little longer, I was too ambitious, and I just wanted to get out right away. No, stay here.
Shut it down.
You're not gonna advance right now.
Nothing. Zero.
Now,
If I move my legs, you're gonna pass my guard too because his knees right.
Correct. But I don't even want to pass the guard. I just want to get out of this triangle setup. So being here, being very aware of this elbow, and now keeping my arm very bent, find my hand right here. Open some space. Bring my hand in. Whoop, slip out, and then pass. So moving slower, you know, through that movement and having more checkpoints would have made a huge difference.
Let me show you guys the standing variation of the same move is very good. Feet towards me, please. Turn this way. So the standing variation of this same technique. You're here, so you mess up. Boom, the triangle setup gets slapped. You're here. Right away, wedging the person's pelvis right here to try to reduce the likelihood of them advancing the full lockup. Go ahead. That's what you're trying to avoid. Go back. So a little frame on the hip, hand on the ground, step up and base right here. 1 foot steps up. Now I stand up, put my knee in his butt, wedge his leg, and go, boom, right now. So my knee wedges his butt right here. One more time. Notice how this is all being done from triangle setup, not from full lockup. Once it's full lockup, any attempt to slip out is going to be compromised, okay? So I wedge his pelvis, hand on the ground, opposite foot steps up first. It's easier. Now I have my base points, and now it's like a standard, base get up. So I wedge here, I'm going to stand up. This foot just steps back normal. Look, I'm still wedging, and now I'm going to step my other foot inside, right between his tailbone, and then step out and base here. He's still going to have tight legs, but I'm going to wedge his hamstring. I'm not going to do this. I'm not trying to move Hito's leg. I'm trying to hold his leg while I back out.
Yeah, and the reason he holds my leg and his knee, his other shin also holds me. Everything's holding me, and then he can back out because I can't stop him from moving.
Boom, so my movement is here.
And the reason why you pick up this leg first is because if you notice, look how it's 1 for 1. It's this leg, boom, this leg,
boom.
Yes. It's hand, it's step. Now once this leg is up, the other leg goes now. Freeze. And then this leg goes in the middle of the tailbone. And that leg
step. Boom. And you're out. And what's interesting is that
which knee do you put in the tailbone? It's the knee
same arm.
Of the arm.
Arm knee, boom.
Yes.
Yep. And what's crazy though is that, this idea of slipping out of a triangle, it's very interesting because if you want to understand the nature, he don't say it perfectly. In order to remove yourself from the triangle with a head slip, you have to narrow yourself, right? You can't be spread in a triangle to set up and say, I'm going to pull out the back here. You have to do this to then do this. The problem is in that narrowing moment, even with the technique done correctly, when you narrow, you are, for that split second, triangleable, meaning from triangle setup to full triangle lockup in that moment. So it's very high risk because you're basically relying at that moment on the opponent down below not jumping that triangle instantaneously during your removal. And I do this a lot, you guys. When I have triangle slippers, people who are going to slip out, they do the standing variation or just kind of do it a little bit sloppy. So I lock up triangle setup. I'm here. He stands up. I feel him. He's starting to put the knee inside. Go, 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 go. Freeze. I go right here. Boom. I just tightened up for a moment right before your removal. I just went, and then I slowed you down. And then from that tight movement, I did my advancement to a full lockup. So he does it again. I want you guys to feel the intensity of my legs right here. He's wedging, he's doing everything, he stands up. Right now he can't get out, he has to duck his head. He steps in, freeze. As he lowers his head, squeeze, I tighten up my legs, grab my shin, and I do this. One advancement. I'm trying to hold his tricep here so he can't push my leg, yeah.
You're not trying. You're doing it.
I did this so he couldn't push the back of my hands.
Wedges.
So I was here, but the point is, even from your knees, like just right here, wedge my hip, and then start to, when you're ready, just, no need, sorry. Just literally back your head out, push my hand here and slip up. Yeah, do it. That's very normal, people do this too. Where they say, I'm just gonna duck my head out, go ahead. Tight legs, number 1, number 2, number 3. So the first thing is there's an immediate bite of my leg to stop the initial head slip, and then that throws him off his timing, and then go ahead and slip again. Once I do my initial bite, I'm squeezing with all my might here. Now I grab my shin, I open this real quickly, rip this in, and drop it. So everything has to be fast. First is the bite, second is the advancement, and now, whether his elbow's almost out, he's going to get caught here. If his elbow comes back in, he's going to get triangle choke. So anyways, it's a very high risk, high reward. Why don't you show, because we're talking about high risk here, since that day of trauma for you, what have you done since then to escape triangles more assertively without risking the elbow or the arm lock on the way out?
And in terms of your ability to time my slip attempt with that squeeze and slow me down, I think a lot of it has to do with your ability to read when I'm going to slip.
I know.
And where I am, right? Because there are moments where if you squeeze, it doesn't allow you to advance into the full triangle.
Yep.
So being very good at these escapes allow you to be very good at timing
Welcome to jiu-jitsu.
the moment to squeeze and the moment to jump into the full triangle.
I would never be able to catch people who try to slip unless I was a slip master myself.
Yes.
That's the reality. So you have to learn both sides of the coin. So Hidon has some very good, like, we have professional MMA fighters, UFC, black belt, top level guys.
Yeah, we had you.
We have me.
Yeah.
And I just try to remove myself from the equation today. But look, people who end in triangle setup, and they'll come to me like kind of crying and upset and say, Henry, Hidon lets me catch triangle setup. This is what they say to me. Hidon lets me get in this position, triangle setup, and I can't finish it for my life, Henry. What the heck do I? And they catch people in triangles. We're talking people who are triangle masters, the top of the top, and they go, I can't catch the triangle. He lets me start from here and there's no triangle. What do you do? I go, welcome to the club, brother. There's no solution, but let's just let you share what you do. And then I also want you to be honest today and share
I'll be honest.
today and tell us what we can do. What would you do against you? Okay, go. Start with the defense. So I land a triangle setup. First mindset is what?
The first mindset is to overwhelm him with my body weight, with everything. I trust that you're going to want to move back and wiggle away. So I very quickly want to grab your collar with this hand. So I hand it, the back hand, and then I put my body weight forward. He might shoulder walk a little bit, and then I'm going to walk with you. I have no doubt that I can follow you, no matter how fast you shoulder walk. If I have a good grip, my weight is on, and my toes are spring like this, you're not going to get away.
And you feel like you're very south. You're not trying to go perpendicular at all here?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to turn the corner. I don't want to walk around. So I'm just on you.
Yes.
Right here. My eyes over here. Like, if I turn the corner,
everyone's mistake.
I narrow myself. So the thing is this.
That's a great point. Real quick, just so our newer students, and when you do a triangle, friends, one of the steps of the triangle is to put the foot on the hip, and in many cases turn to then bite the neck at perpendicular, so you get a little bit easier lockup. What Hidon's pointing out is the turn that I just did, he does for me if, when he grabs the collar, slowly come around a little bit, he's actually coming around the corner, he's perpendiculating for me. And that's what he's saying, let's avoid altogether by keeping a direct parallel spine configuration.
And that's especially true with somebody who has very long legs and doesn't require my arm being pulled across.
Yes.
Lock the triangle.
Just lock right here.
You see, my arm is not even across his body, and he can lock the triangle. So, thumb in the collar, the weight is on. Now, from here, most people in my position, they feel like it is now my job to open his legs. It is my job to side mount him, but it's not. I now defer to you.
Oh my gosh.
And now, what do you want to do? He uncrossed his legs. Again, he uncrossed. Boom. And now my elbow touches
I
him.
see. So what do you do with this prior to that?
Nothing. My elbow's just wide.
It's just wide.
My fist, my hand is holding the lapel on the lower side, and then my fist is wedged under your arm.
So I can't pull it across.
So my elbow is wide. Well, you can't for that reason, but also for the reason of just where I am.
Yeah, I see.
My body over you. So I just stay here, and now you want to do something. Anything he wants, anything that he does, most anything that he does, will require uncrossing your legs.
Yes.
And it's my job to be very aware. The moment the legs uncross, the hair, well, my elbow's in. Now, do I have to tuck my elbow in? No. Cross again. Uncross. Go ahead. Cross again. It doesn't matter.
Because I can't advance.
Correct. But if those of us that have less experience, the moment it uncrosses, tuck it in. Pull my elbow back
There's
out.
nothing coming back.
Now my elbow becomes one with my ribs. My hand right here is supported against your body. Pull my elbow in.
I see. There's no getting it back.
It's glued to my ribs. And now, or I can hug his thigh right
Then
here.
you're gone for good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Talk about a little bit about what your head is doing through all of this, because I have my feet crossed.
Yeah, my feet crossed. And like, there's an interesting thing with going on here, where you're not really letting me pull this down.
So what happens is this: his leg, I think this is the angle. His knee right here. If I'm like this and I'm like this, go ahead, lock it up. Good, go back. So my chest, go real quick.
Yeah.
My chest wants to
Yes.
open because I want my shoulder not in the bend of his knee. If it's in the bend of his knee can clamp down. I want my shoulder here, right
I
now.
think it's really annoying, you guys, on my leg. And the counter pressure, I can't. The counter pressure that you create, not only does your shoulder go up, but this is like, lift your chest up, do the thing a little. You do this with this arm pushing in on my thigh. I can't open my knee this way to go across to your neck. So you're almost doing this to my leg. Yeah.
So head up, chest forward. Now, when my head is up, what if you pull my head down? Cross your feet. Pull my head down. Go ahead.
Finish it. Can't.
It doesn't even matter if he pulls my head down.
This is up.
If my chest opened and my shoulders slid from the bend of his knee up to his calf a little bit. So the posture is not as important as you think it is. And it makes sense that if my head lifts up, you're going to want to pull my head down. Because you think that that's what keeps me safe.
Yes,
but it's not. Now, go on your hold across your feet again. If you hold behind my head, if you pull down and I go to my knees, then things get much worse. So I would suggest never drop into your knees. Always keep your head over them and hold and hold. Now, there will be movement. There will be people that will create angles, that will move, that will shrimp, and they might succeed in fully locking the triangle. They might be 6'4", 6'5", 19 years old, no spine, extremely flexible, and they can lock the triangle. And when that happens, you're gonna tell yourself, it's not the way, but don't. Instead, realize that it still took them 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 60 seconds, and that, in time, it will pretty much go away. Like, don't get me wrong, like when someone triangles me, some long-legged people that I know sometimes get very close with me. It is not a victory for them. It's a victory for me because my understanding of how they went from no triangle to deep into a triangle is now greater, which means that I recycle that. And then who knows, a month later, I'm a little more comfortable on where to place myself to not get in trouble.
So clutch. So since we're on the topic of triangles, this is such an important counter. I'm going to say one thing that I think to be the most valuable extrapolation of everything you just said, and you can, because I'm learning this too. I'm loving this, you guys. I don't really do this stack as well as you don't, and I'm just understanding it and feeling it right now is powerful for me. But I want to say what I think to be the number one, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. The number one mistake is the belief of the person who's in the triangle that you need to dismantle the triangle. You have to break his legs and slip out of it and get out of the triangle.
Yeah, you believe that when you're in triangle setup, you're in a bad place. And if that's the case, you need to remove yourself from bad places.
And in trying to remove yourself, you get caught.
That's true.
So, you know what's wild? This is the same as the mount. It's the same as back mount. It's the same as the guard, right? If where you are isn't good enough, you're going to panic to get out, and in doing so, you're going to get caught in something much worse than where you were. So triangle setup with this stack that he just taught us, that nice forward pressure and posture and the shoulder removed from the knee, just hang there, you guys. Hang tight, be patient, keep them up on their stack. It's not even like you're stacking me over my head to hurt my neck.
Not at all. I'm putting you in a place where you just can't complete the triangle.
This is so rare, you
I'm
guys.
stopping progress. You guys, and it's to the point where when I train, I go like this.
You let him, and he just stays right here, straight.
It doesn't matter, whoever the best triangler in the world is, I want to be in the triangle. Like, I'm so curious. I want to hit that level. I want to know, how is it even possible? What can you do to me? And I actually got tapped. I was in England last year, trained with a bunch of black belts at, trained with a black belt out there in England, and I allowed myself to get in the triangle setup in guard sparring, and the guy tapped me. Now, the time before, I was able to stack him. I did this perfectly, I escaped. The time that he did it again, he tapped me, and then I escaped 2 or 3 more times. But in a guard drill for 5 minutes, I got caught one time. Oh, it was amazing. Could you imagine if I defended all 5 times that I was in his guard and I gave him the triangle? Of course, I'm playing with fire a little bit, but I'm doing it willingly. I understand exactly what's happening.
Beautiful. Okay, so can we talk about some of our favorite triangle shots? Can we get to the bottom a little bit? Just some different shots, how to enter. For our newer friends, get in my guard here, you know? For our newer friends,
What about what you told them that you're going to say, which is how to defend that? And he don't show some things on that.
What do you mean?
How do you finish the triangle on someone who knows your stack?
I don't know.
No one's ever done it to you. No one stacks you like this?
No, yeah, they do.
What do? You tap them.
No, I get past. No. If they do this properly, there's no tapping them.
That's it. You heard it from Hidon, you guys. If you do the stack properly, there is no triangle tapping them. So it's almost like,
It's not, if you do this to me, the triangle is not even that important. I don't want to be underneath somebody's guard. I don't want to be underneath somebody who is stacking like this and me be on the bottom trying to triangle for 40 seconds, 60 seconds, a minute and a half. It's just so
Yeah, it's not
draining. It's not even worth it. If they have amazing posture, good shoulder position, head up, chest forward, wide base, thumb in the collar, eye-to-eye contact.
You're almost like, okay,
You're looking you right into your soul. For you to keep fighting for the triangle, no, let it go.
Yeah, I see. So when I look at a situation like this, I don't think to myself, oh, how do I submit him in this posture that he's in? The question is, how do I avoid the advancement of this posture? And if I'm successful, I might catch him. If I'm not, he's going to get out. That's the bottom line. If he gets to that position,
So you need to stop my hand from grabbing
yeah,
your
now
collar.
you're starting the collar, immediately getting his head down and not letting him kind of like do the whole chest line.
If you immediately go for my head,
You're going to go for the collar.
you go for the collar,
I see, so I have you more here.
which is what you do.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So now the question is, you also want to pull my arm across.
I do, yeah.
So if he wants to get my arm across, he only has two hands
I
though.
would rather have this and this than this arm. Because I'm going to pull this down and sometimes eventually get into this.
He's gonna want to lock his legs up
Oh,
without
yes.
pulling my arm across.
Yes, I'm going to try it. That's exactly right.
And now I'm gonna start to. That's when
I see, you have another element, yeah. It's not easy.
I'm keeping my elbow heavy. I'm keeping my hand right here ready at any moment.
Done.
I need full attention on this arm, or I'm grabbing the collar.
Yeah, I got it.
And then my head, semi-posture, pull my head down.
So if I go here, he's coming in. That's the frustrating part. It's you lose here or you lose here.
And how much I'm
And if I'm
posturing.
here, you can posture all day. So that's now you can bend a different way.
Yeah.
Come on in.
No, I'm still gonna go there.
Really? You're not going to try to go out the other
There's no need.
Because you want to do this, that's why. You have more fun with this. Okay, now that triangles are useless, let's learn how to catch some triangles. Okay, so obviously you got to triangle, you got to get his posture down. That's number one. So you're going to fight the hands. They're going to have different wedges here. And you're going to do just like we do from the mount, where you want to preempt their grips, control. Eventually you want to split their hands or cross push and get them to break down. Controlling the head, get your knee inside right away if you can. Okay, 1.5, Gracie Combatives, basic triangle. We'll start here, then we'll see some pretty advanced shots. Tricep control, number one mistake right here. People grab the wrist, but they don't open the book, so they have trouble getting their leg out. If you've ever had trouble getting this leg out, the reason is either A, you have very damaged hips, so you can't bend your knee to your chest from all kinds of years of whatever you did in your past life before jiu-jitsu, or you don't understand this detail. Grab, look, open the knee and the shoulder, separation. Look at this, look at the opening. How open. Now watch how easy. No problem. Okay, and then once you get the triangle set up, right away, head control, arm control. If you have the legs for it, you make the adjustment. And that's an important detail here. Let's spin all the way around so you see this. Everyone, in the early triangles, we teach you guys, get that arm across. And there's incredible value to that, because now you take a wide guy and you make him narrower, which means you can advance that triangle and catch a narrower subject. Great details. However, the problem is, against someone knowledgeable, that moment where you pull this arm across is often the moment where everything falls apart. Whether they posture, they sit. So if I do this, sit up. I'm never going to get it back down. It's too tough.
And you have to ask yourself, just when you first land here, the focus is not pulling the arm across. The
Right.
focus, you talk about it all the time, it is controlling the position.
Yeah, keep this mount right here.
Which keep me from posturing, keep me from grabbing, keep me from slipping, and then 7, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, now you decide, is it a direct lockup or
Yes.
pull the arm across?
Correct. You couldn't. Heel's right. Start by controlling the mount. Upside down mount.
Now, in the middle of that control, let's say you're 2 seconds into controlling, I do this, boom.
Yes.
So you control, but when someone gives you this perfect, this direct
You just
lockup,
gotta
you
take
take
it. Yeah.
it.
It's like just imagine you achieve the mount, and we tell you keep the mount, but then someone reaches up for your throat, and death grips your throat. Keep the mount. No, break his arm. At some point, they give you a gift. You got to take it, even though keeping the mount longer would have been the right strategy. You have to adapt your technique in that moment. So when we land here, for those who want to actually catch the triangle without pulling your arm across, you want to have it fully overhooked, hidden under your armpit. You're going to use your heel on their head control. You're going to use your heel on their back. Do a small hip adjustment. Take your knee, bite over your existing leg. Very important. So this comes over, grab your shin, come around and lock it up, and then squeeze from right here. Toes back, heels down, knees tight, and squeeze. Now, the most common mistake people make here is they control the head. When they're ready to make the advancement, they put the foot on the hip, and now he's gone. Every single time, he will be gone there. So it's very important that my elbows are tight, touching my thigh, head control, leg on the back. Watch my hips. All I do is a little swivel. Very important, so I can get a proper bite across his neck with this leg. So my hips go from here to here. And to do that, I use his back, not his hip, because if I use his hip, his arm is going to escape. Using his back, he can't go anywhere because his leg is still high enough. Use his back, little hip adjustment. Take this leg, look what I do. Turn and bite over my own leg, grab my shin, and now don't open this too wide here, you're going to lose the arm. When you come around, just go wide enough to catch your full lockup. And then some of you who don't know this, the choke is 100% applicable even if his arm isn't across his neck, right? A lot of people thought that we pull the arm across because you're choking him with his shoulder.
It does help.
A little bit.
It does help.
20%. But it doesn't make or break the difference. If I lock here, even with the arm way over here, elbow down, this is still full choking territory. Heels down, knees in, head control, and he's out right there in 6 seconds, just like any other triangle.
Does it have to be a full lockup?
On this one, I think so.
Try.
Yeah, I think so.
Can it be like a 90%
Triangle setup. Yeah, it can be pretty close, I think.
Is it fully locked right there?
No. Right now it's 80%.
3 inches off?
3 inches off.
Hold behind my head? Yeah, done.
I see.
So
So you can do it, like, just advance as much as you can here. As long as your heels are super tight and your thighs go together, it's legit. So
Yeah.
that was the standard 1.5 triangle shot. Show a different one.
Well, about this locking the triangle without pulling my arm across. Many of you that have shorter legs, you're probably like, I don't know if I can ever do this. And it's true that you might not be able to do it on as many people as we can. But from what I've seen, there's people who have much shorter legs, some very short students of ours, that can do this on certain body types.
Yes.
So just understanding the timing and the technique to be able to lock like this is important because like all of our body, as you do techniques, your body stretches, your hips open, your knees, and the flexibility will come. So you might not be doing this on everybody, but you do have 3 or 4 friends who are also a little bit smaller that you're able to do this with. Do it because it'll pay off one day. So other triangle,
Any shot that you like right now?
I just do 1.5.
There's also that collar grip one where you bring your knee over my arm that people love.
The collar grip one, but I would say, I think more is triangle. Here's what it is. So, you block my arms, okay? Keep your arms inside my arms. See, you're winning right now. He has inside hand positioning. I'm a huge advocate of this, right? I feel like, because I need what? Put your hands in the ground. Let go of my arms. I need my arms to be inside his to do this. The problem is that he's inside mine. And for me to even get inside your arm right now is very difficult because the path that I have to travel is this, and his is just a straight drop to the ground. So getting underneath somebody's arms is what is necessary for me to catch the triangle that I like, relax, which is this one, which is this. This is where I'm going. And I don't have to even do the open the book because I have that full flexibility right now. So move down that way a little bit. So for me, the game now is when they're blocking my biceps, I'm now pinching your wrist. I'm hugging his arm. And it gives you the illusion of what?
That I'm trapped.
That I got you. Because right now, look, he's blocking me. So maybe when I just pinch, pull your arm out. Which doesn't make any sense and it would be that easy, right? Of course not. But if I can pinch it and then create an angle and then here, boom, and sweep him. Now right there, he kind of honestly fell.
No, it's tight. I tried to pull my hand out, but it was stuck.
Yes, and whether or not he pulls his hand out just depends on how quickly he pulls his hand out and how much pinch I have. I was attempting to pinch it as best I could right there. So I pinch it, I create an angle. And now I do my sweep where I throw my legs north and then I create this pendulum. He pulls his hand out, boom, and now come back. Boom, now I'm inside. So beautiful. That is probably, especially when it comes to fighting when we're wearing gloves, because what is your strategy if we're wearing gloves right now?
Position right
There you go, we're punching. But now I, on the bottom, I also want to relax, want to be safe. I want to be here. So to what do? So I'm hugging now. Punch me now. If he wants to punch me, it gives me an opportunity to come inside. But let's say he doesn't. I simply pinch his fist, his punch, angle, and now throwing my legs north, this way, here, boom, swinging my legs south. 90% of the time, the person won't fall, not because they shift their weight the other way, but because they're very happy to post a hand. So I angle, I sweep, boom, boom. Now my hand comes in. And now I go here.
Nice.
So let's talk about that little sweep. It's very good. Very good. Some subtle adjustments he's making prior to the impact that if you don't get it, you won't. So for example, if you try to sweep, hug my glove, let's say you're here. Don't adjust your hips right now.
I have to adjust my hips.
So tell them what that adjustment is and which direction you're doing.
What happens is this, is that my legs right now are not positioned. They're positioned to give power that way.
I see.
So I need to rotate my legs, move your hands, so that my legs can do this. I need energy to come this way.
Because why? Because I have balance this way. Put your hands right here.
See right here, he's like this. So this is the, I need to roll him over this point.
That plane, yeah. That line. The line is a great point. So between my knee and my hand, there's a line.
Which the hand is here. But now look, boom, the
So
hand
now,
is here.
so now the line is right here. So the angle of compromise is there.
Yes, and with my hip angle, it's even greater because my head is now further away. So I'm really opening up
The angle
this
is
line. And now both legs, it is not simply this leg hitting him. It is both legs going like this.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
So the reason why you went right now, it wasn't even because of, it's a general throw of my weight. It's not the strike as much as it is just this.
Yes.
I'm just lifting you. And it reminds me a lot of like even some throwing techniques where you shift, you rock the person's weight over. The center of gravity that I'm messing with right here. Because where's your center of gravity right now? It's here.
Right here, yeah.
It's down the center, right over my hips. But when I do this, I'm shifting his center of gravity up here. So now I go, boom, freeze. Now my leg sweeps underneath. And then I find my way to the top.
The best. Yeah.
It helps, it helps the more, the heavier, the longer the legs. This is for sure easier. If I am 5'6", and you're 6'3", 230 pounds, it's going to be trickier for my body to off balance you like that. I understand that. So there's no doubt that somebody who has longer legs and who's even a heavier person. I have some friends that are 300 pounds that when they do this, there's just so much rocking. We did it by myself one time. There's so much weight behind every single movement that it very easily takes that person's center of gravity from here to here, and then they're gone. So legs across, using my inner thighs, I angle. So my hips go out to the side that I'm going to throw you, and now both legs go up. Not one leg, both rock together. Once they've rocked, the center of gravity has moved. Now it rocks, and then low. And keep this leg straight, and then roll right on top. Don't sweep and go to your knee. Because when you go to your knee, it kills the momentum. It kills the low sweeping motion. You do this, and you go like this. My leg bent, whereas if my leg stays straight, look, rock, my leg is still straight, and then I melt on top. Good.
This is Hito's #1 sweep, you guys. Variations of this one that he catches everyone, even when you're waiting for it, you get caught. So him saying that the most important detail is this little opening of the hip adjustment to then be able to throw the legs. And if you do that by yourself, that's a good solo.
And you wanna, there's a good story. My grandfather was very big on teaching us how to pass the guard and, pass the guard standing, holding on to collars and having good posture and good base as we stand. It was almost like getting swept was unacceptable to enemy racing. And I remember one time, we were at one of the old schools, I was in the bottom of the guard, and Guy Valente was in my guard. My grandfather said, "Don't lay down, let Guy show you this pass that we're doing." Right? And my grandfather doesn't ask us to demonstrate this in like slow speed.
Just to see how it looks.
Correct. He's saying, "Don't go, Guy, go." He made it a little bit of like a moment for Guy to show me the pass. Now, I was on the bottom of the guard, and I think he might have been holding one collar or one bicep right here, one collar. And I went like this. Like, look at my head right now. And I held onto this sleeve. Like, you don't even feel that.
Nothing.
Like the lightest grip ever.
Versus, and now you feel your wrist is getting choked.
Yeah. Lightest grip ever. And look at my hair. And I was even looking off into the
Oh
lights.
my gosh, you're acting like you were sleeping.
Yes.
But he wasn't.
I'm not at all. And he lifted up this leg and I went boom, boom. And I swept him like, boom, like the fastest sweep ever. Now, the move,
Yes.
not the move, but
The pass.
a very important detail to understand, which he knows very well, but he did not even know, because there's an agreement amongst brothers
That you would,
when you're around your parents or grandparents.
I see.
Like you're on each other's team more than
You're on
their
your
team,
Yeah.
right? Like if there's food missing from the fridge,
Don't rat me out.
you're right, and I'm eating it.
Yeah.
Don't say he don't eat it. Just stay quiet. I'll give you some later. We're working
So what happened to
together.
that agreement? Why didn't you make the agreement?
I don't know. Maybe I was just so in the moment of that sweep. Who knows?
He was, and you guys, I've been victim to it every single time.
So the understanding is this: you block the bicep, you pick up the leg on the same side, go back, but you have to put this hand on the ground. Yeah, because now you have your base once again. So that was missing. The point is this: that the sweep, part of this sweep is how I showed you from blocking biceps. But another aspect of it is, especially when people are predictable, you know which leg they're going to pick up. Like, look at my body right now.
Oh, they already opened up the obtuse angle.
Now, if they pick up this leg, I just don't do the move. Go back. But again, there's a reason why you pick up this leg first and not this one, and we don't have to get into that. The point is that when this leg comes up, boom, because his head, it has to lean, he's very off balance.
Which is this right here. Look at my head. So when I do this.
Boom, look at that. Now, the time to do it is, go ahead, as he's going, I go, whoop.
Oh my god.
Now, don't listen, my grandfather was like right there where you guys are. And then he was right here, and I did this. And then, you guys, you know when you let your brother down?
Yeah.
Like the look that they give you?
God, are you
No,
serious?
No, that was an acting one. That wasn't even the real one. But the look, because you can't see, they can't see your eyes.
I mean, you can't see my eyes.
Yeah, he's there at the grace, you
Right
can't
now,
see his
you
eyes.
did it, boom.
So he gave me the look right now,
Oh, are you kidding me?
and I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I don't even know why I did that to you. The guilt just ran so deep in my body. And then we lay back down, and when he sat up, how do you think my grandfather looked at him?
Oh my gosh. You gave him the look.
That's the
I
one,
got the
right?
look. I got the look.
I've gotten it many times
Too
also.
many times.
The disappointment look.
What's wrong with you? Look, you didn't do my move.
You let me down. So just, this is a multiple layered lesson, right? Number one is the head shift, the timing. 2, put the hand out. Understand the center of gravity. 3,
The sweep is very good.
the sweep is very good. That's part of 1 and 2. But 3, don't do that to your brothers, to your team like that.
In front of the
In front of the master. Like even if one day, like we're, we're not grandmasters, but us being instructors, when we come around you, it's okay if you work together a little bit to not embarrass each other in front of us.
You know, this is one of those things.
Just don't make it look too
So
helpful.
Don't be heat on in that case. Cool. I can show one more triangle setup if you guys
Please.
want to. So everyone started getting too hipped. Everyone started getting too hip to the 1.5 and all this here. So they weren't letting their hands come out no matter what. Like the hands were on the inside, and like he don't talk about using that and setting it up for the actual hip when they post and you come in. Great. The hands were on the inside. Okay, so that's when I started cross gripping here, and then went for the tricep, pull your arm out. Boom, and then I switched to this. Boom, and I grab his wrist. And then we go to the head control, my favorite, my new favorite. This is the one that, if I feel like I just want to cheat and catch an easy triangle, this is the one. Cross grip, C-clamp on the wrist. It's going to be right in my pelvis here. I'm going to hug the head with the other hand, high guard, and just head control.
And the question is, how good is this grip?
It's good in what sense?
It's not easy to free my arm from this.
Yeah, it's just weird because the whole thing is weird. The high guard, blocking the tricep.
It's not only your hand holding my
It's not
wrist.
like this.
No, it's his,
Go
it's
boom.
pinning to his hip,
It's using my
his
thighs.
thigh, his hand on my head.
Head sit up. So it just kind of gets stuck in there.
Yes.
And then what happens is once that arm is stuck, what do you expect right now? Well, you expect kind of this arm drag and taking the back right here
Yes.
and go. Right, which is a great move from the guard. Because anytime you have a cross grip, it implies an arm drag because that's where the arm has to be dragged. But when you grab this C-clamp, you guys, and you hold the head right here, and you're here, all it takes is this. I uncross my legs, I do one hip adjustment. If they don't follow my hips, I straighten my leg, I straighten my arm, and I jump. And we're done. And right away, head control, arm overhook, little hip swivel, throw my leg over like I taught you guys, and then full lock up with the pre-arm pull across. It's coming back here.
Sounds too easy.
Getting this wrist right here, you guys, is the challenge. A lot of times, grab my wrist. They'll have your own wrist grabbed. So then it becomes this wrist back grabbing battle. So you use wrist releases, inverted wrist release. They hold. Don't try to do anything here. Look, just take your elbow and put it over. It pops every single time. Okay, that's one option. Grab it again. The other option is you hand off the wrist first, and then you do that. So by the time you release it, you already have them. You use your high guard and try to pull them and stuff this.
And it's getting the head usually pretty easy because their focus is not posture.
Yeah, right when I
Their
kill
focus
this,
is more to fight their
yes,
head.
I'll usually be here, and then right now I want this. Yes, I'll go next to that.
So you use your legs to rock me, or
This.
you sit up.
Boom, either one. Exactly. We close that gap. Because he doesn't have his hand to hold my body anymore, so it becomes a little compromised and I can usually get it. And then right away, I have that wrist, I uncross my legs, push off the hip, angle. From here, straight leg, straight arm. And then jump, look at this, I'm holding and I just stiff arm it. And now while keeping the head, take that same leg and jump. The problem is my hips land, rotate a little like that. My hip right there. Go back, right there. The problem is my hips land a little bit angled this way. My hips are facing this way, which is not conducive to a good triangle. It's very hard to lock a triangle. So using my heels, I'm going to swivel my hips this way, under him. Now I go to that head control, I get ready for my slight adjustment, throw my leg over, and lock up. If you can't lock it up for any case, then you might have to defend until you do. Get this arm across at some point and bring it back down, and then follow the more conventional triangle lockup steps. I made one detail here, hold my hold again, which was as I feed this and I grab the wrist and I hold the head, I said, foot on the hip, and if I move my hips and he doesn't follow my hips, straighten the leg, throw the arm, and jump. The question is, what if I do this, I hold, and he does follow the hips? Move with me? Look, very common that they just kind of, they follow along. So once you know that you have a hip follower, then do the exact same thing, and as he follows, go. Just block that knee. Boom. Very effective, one of the best of all. Sweep-wise. Boom. In terms how much he don't catches the other pendulum sweep is the same as how much I catch this little knee tap right here. So the number one sweep I'm
The
getting.
reason why it's so good is because I'm doing 70%.
Yes. Because when he follows the hips, watch how you just shuffle your knees real quick. Go ahead. 1, 2. That's how he does it. It's knee in, knee out. Once you understand the mechanics of knee in, knee out, you know. Do it again. Look. Boom. You just block the knee before it goes back out. So if I go here and I have all this grip and I'm ready to rock and roll and I put my foot and I do an angle, slow. Right now I go here. Boom. So he can't open it and then I come right over. It's the money sweep, you guys. It's too easy. Too easy. Move your hips. They follow, and depending on the triangle, they get caught with the sweep. So it'd be it's either triangle or sweep every single time off that cross grip. Any questions?
Questions?
Should we do some quick ones? Let's do some machine guns.
So, do you have any suggestions on what happens if your calf muscles start hurting? Why you're locking the triangle, Brandon's
It
asking.
used to happen to me. Where your calf is kind of crushed and behind their neck. So
Oh,
you're
I
talking about the
understand.
one that's behind the head or the one that's in here, you think?
He didn't mention.
So sometimes a general cramp, or you
No, he means pain of your leg. I think Brandon means this. You get a triangle, and this calf is hurting in their spine right here. I don't think he means this one. This one usually is the ankle. Typically on the ankle, if you pull this and you lock this up, you feel like sometimes you're going to break your own ankle. Be careful here, you guys. It's possible that you do your own ankle lock here. So you always want to aim to lock your leg, not on your toes, but on your actual ankle to minimize the chance of hyperextending your foot. But sometimes Brandon's asking, what about the calf? It hurts so bad behind the guy's neck.
It probably has to do with a lot of hipping up. Because when you hip up, lift your hips up.
Well, it has to do with the short legs around a big neck. I mean, you know, it's cool. I'm getting here, my calf gets caught. That's the same as any pressure point. Or you go for an ankle lock and your forearm hurts. Look, this starts to hurt. Like, ow, I'm squeezing, but it's hurting my own arm.
I just wonder if there's something they said about more thigh squeeze. If there's a way,
I don't think that. I think just from locking his legs is feeling the pain.
just once you lock it, it hurts.
Yes. And the answer is simple, bros. You have to understand that. And I had this. I remember catching ankle locks and my forearm is hurting because it's the back of his bone of his leg is going in and I'm feeling it. There comes a point in everyone's jiu-jitsu career, every purple, brown, and black belt will talk about this, where the small pains that typically annoy normal humans don't annoy jiu-jitsu practitioners, right? The little poke pressure point, like direct pressures of sorts, just don't affect us as much because you've been through that position so many times. you almost become desensitized to pressure points when you're going for submissions because you know that what's at stake is much bigger than that pressure point. And pressure points are just pain, they're not damage. Next question.
What about when the person cross their legs around your body and they squeeze your ribs and you're new jiu-jitsu and you just stab?
Yes.
Any tips to reduce that?
Yeah. So, someone's asking, probably more of a beginner, because this is a beginner concern.
The howdy part is a different concern, but even a brown belt might not know what to do here.
That's true.
You cross your feet right now, and you extend your legs and you pinch your knees. It even bothers me a little bit.
I see.
So, here's the thing, is that the angle at which your thighs work perpendicular.
Yes.
His knees, it's almost like it's not your knees. Your knees are a little bit more
It's a
behind
little
my
thigh,
body.
little thigh.
But if I was like this,
Yes.
now his knees are right under my
Oh,
ribs.
yes.
But me being here, it's less.
More
me
thighs.
being here is less.
More thighs.
Me being here is less. Me being here is less.
Yeah.
You see that? So by me putting my
That's interesting what you just did. The super flat.
me putting my body forward, it puts it to where there's
More
more
surface area.
surface area.
And what's the difference? The guys, those guys in like typically like in like a South Asian countries when they walk on a bed of nails, and they're walking on the nails. You don't ever see them walk on one nail. They walk on 1,000 nails because it's distributing the surface area of their feet onto more pressure points. When Hidon goes from vertical in my guard to then being horizontal and flat, my inner thigh and knee is touching all up and down this whole portion here. So I think what if you turned your body a little bit as well? Like just kind of like straighten one leg and lay your hip sideways. Yes!
Yeah.
Is that not as bad either?
You know, it feels a different kind of
More stomachy,
interesting.
more stomachy.
More stomachy.
That's
Depends
it.
on how much food you have in your stomach. So go ahead, straighten it again. Just a little.
That sprawl is annoying to me, Hidon, when you do that. It really feels, I feel like I'm squeezing your pelvis now.
Mhm.
Very interesting. Next question.
Next question. Some details for posture breaking from the guard.
Yeah, posture breaking. So someone establishes posture. This is the name of the game, you guys. If you're on the bottom of the guard, the name of the game is break their posture, and as they regain their posture, catch them in a mistake position and submit them. That's kind of the nature of it. If they have fully postured up beautiful, there is no submission for me right now. There's no triangle, there's no arm bar because my hips are not behind his elbows, there's no cross strokes because he's too far away. So this is a good thing for Hidon to do, is to have great posture and sit up. So for me, I do have to break his posture. And with different people, that can be harder or easier. And the question is, tips for breaking the posture. Well, first you have to understand that posture. Where does Hidon have power and strength right now? If I go up, he can block my body. He has hands. He has these stiff arms. That's one aspect. The other aspect is he has his two knees right here. So what I typically will try to do is understand that there is a line between his two knees. If you make it two dots and you drew a line, that's his balance line, right? And if I bring him over that balance line, he can be compromised. The problem is, as I do that, he has his hands here to stop that. So using my legs, my goal is to put his head here when I break posture, but at the same time, I have to make sure that his hands don't land on my body in the process, which he will. Boom! Try to stiff arm. Sometimes they're grabbing, sometimes it's no gi, their hands are just here. So I'm a very big fan of having my hands touching his and playing the hand fighting game, bring your hand inside. Like, there's my body, okay, just play the game a little here, just swim inside. Yeah, he's just doing this. I'm a very big fan, go ahead. And then eventually I do a big leg pull and I go. But I make sure that when I did it, that his hands, whether I cross push them, whether I split them, whether I swim them, I just make sure that his hands don't find a base moment at the instant that I bring to pull you down, right? Because it's one thing for me to, your hands are here, and you know I'm going to pull you down. But I'm the only one who knows when I'm going to pull right now, right? So I know when I'm going to go. Or I sit up, and then I hug his neck, and then I push off, and I bring him down.
Yes, the combination of those two is what's crazy.
But the key is understand it's not this, it's not here, it's here.
Yeah.
That's what they have to understand.
Yes. There's another, it's possible you can't bring me down.
Yes.
And how much effort, how much time do you dedicate to breaking my
I
posture?
do a quick survey, and then I realize, no, they're legit. And then one of two things happens.
Well, most people in this position, they do want to establish posture
Mhm.
before they do what?
Pass.
Pass. So sometimes you not being able to break me down for 10, 15 seconds, then don't move. I begin to now work on my pass,
Yes.
and now my posture my posture breaking prevention is weaker. I'm not
Because
as
you're changing your
strong
focus.
because my focus is now to pass the guard. So giving it a little bit of time, waiting a little bit is also a good
That's
idea.
a great point. If someone's in 100% posture focus, Maybe it's not the time to break their posture. Next question.
Guido is here watching with us, and he asks, and many people back him out. People really like the question, which is when people figure for the legs
In the guard.
in the guard, what do you do?
You want to show
Is that it?
Lay down, you triangle me. Check this out.
I don't even know the move.
Is there a figure four triangle body on this side? Full triangle. Watch, pay attention. Guido's question was full triangle on the body. What do you do? Look, you lay down.
Come on.
Done. Next question.
Don't do that though. Don't even do the triangle on the bottom.
I think Brian Ortega taught me that. Who taught you that?
No. The thing is,
Ryan does that.
that is the move. That is the move from the back.
Is it?
So I obviously knew that, but I would never do that. Do you understand? Because who are we rolling with?
Guido.
Because
That was Guido's question.
The point is, it's just a
Do it
dangerous
again, do
move.
it again. Look, you
I
watch.
have a triangle.
What I'll do is lay down, I put my knee in the center, I step as far back as I can,
The point is not worth it.
and catch his ankle. And now by pushing this back to the ground, I break his ankle. Not that one, the one that's in this triangle. I sit back on it and it's over.
Next question.
So the question is, why do you do this? Why would everyone would ever do this?
Because people don't know
People
the
don't
move.
understand this.
The question is, why would you ever body triangle if body triangle is this counterable? The answer is because people don't know the counter to this body triangle.
People don't give themselves permission to be creative to this degree to invent stuff like this.
Next question.
How long before they can buy the Mataleon gi that you're wearing?
Don't talk about my gi. Next question.
No. When is it available?
You guys, Henry gets
When
this.
is it
Listen,
available?
I have connections, you guys, on the gi front. Don't ask about my gi. I want to be the one who just wears it for a while.
You can't
Can I be?
You can't have it out there while it's not
Listen,
even available.
I do a lot of good work for you guys. Can we all agree that I work hard, I
Yes.
bring jiu-jitsu, and I help share the world? Can I be the guy who wears a new gi for a little while before everyone gets the new gi? Why you guys gotta always be attacking my gi? You'll get it, you guys. Lion gi's coming out.
How
soon.
much time? Give us a date.
It could be a few weeks to a few months.
Could be December, Christmas.
Oh, let's do this. Let's do your thing right here. You're on top or bottom when you do that, this wrist play.
I remember
Here.
here.
Remember? This little.
Yeah, I remember. They're asking questions though.
You guys, can I ask a question for you guys? Hito, what do you do with that guard stuff over here? What's that guard system? You guys, this is ridiculous what Hito does. He's the most demoralizing top guard. We can't do a guard chapter discussion. Let's do this. We can't do a guard chapter discussion without the most important guard passing concept of all. Because some of them are wondering, how do I pass the guard? And the answer is, don't pass the guard. Hito taught me this a long time ago. This is the number one thing, you guys. We go to seminars all over the world, I'll lay down, and I'll get people in the guard, and Hito taught me how to approach it like this. They go like, okay, and you say, okay, ready? Yeah, go. And the first thing they start doing is what? Go, pass, pressure, go. And they don't pass the guard, because a good guard is hard to pass. And then we switch roles. We get in their guard, right? Now Hito's on top.
Correct.
And then we say,
Stay still.
and then what do?
Attack. And then pass.
We pass. So, it's so crazy. So what's the moral of the story? We're taking deep
What
down.
time is it, bro? What time we got for this? Get time?
4 p.m.
4 minutes?
No, 4 p.m. right now.
We have a little time. Now we're gonna get deep into a guard, the most important guard passing concept of your life.
But ask some more questions. As you get more questions, I'm gonna cut this short.
Okay, go.
So the point is this, is that like every single position in all of jiu-jitsu, there's always somewhere else to be. Doesn't matter where you are, you feel like you gotta be somewhere else. And when you're in the guard, you obviously feel like you wanna be in the side control or in the mount or anywhere. Even the half guard is better than full guard. So because you believe that, you're already in trouble. You've already lost the game. Because now you're gonna be up here passing the guard from a place of where I am is bad, which means that oftentimes you make big mistakes and you're not very calculated in your movements. So what I do is I flip it because I want you to feel like where you are is bad. Which the truth is, it's not. Everybody who lays down right here, is like, yeah, he's in my guard. And they're like, okay, what am I gonna do next? So how can I make him feel like what he has is bad? I can do that by stopping him from being able to progress. Most people that are in my position, they put the hands on the belt, or the collars right here, a bicep, a pant leg, an elbow tucked in. I go here. I hold the person's hands. And I'm not even holding with too much grip. I'm holding more with this, I'm almost shadowing, hovering. And because I understand the angles and what is possible in terms of your arms' rotation and mobility, I can kind of predict what's going to happen next. I even, as you pull away, I can wrist lock right here a little bit. As you pull away, I use my body weight. I kind of shift my weight forward, so my own body weight is pinning your hands to the ground. Minimal gripping, 70% weight, 30% grabbing. Sometimes your legs will pull me forward. And when your legs pull me, because your hands are not ready to hug my neck, but then you cannot hug my neck, and my head is ready to hit your chest and then slide into your chin. Boom. So very quickly, pull me. Pull me again faster, harder. Boom. Like it's almost like they don't even want to do it because you can tell that right now I'm ready to headbutt you. Because the alternative, go ahead, pull me again, is to put my hands out.
So your head is the hand here. Just to be clear for your safety, guys, he's not hitting my chin. He's hitting my chest, and then he's sliding into my chin or my neck area. So his head always hits first, and then just kind of plows into my neck. Very frustrating, guys. What's happening now is I'm starting to feel like even though I'm supposed to be attacking him, I'm being attacked by these wrist grabs and by the head pressure. And if you didn't have these, let these go. What would you be doing right now then? Just get low and inside block, right?
Yes.
Show them this as well.
I would be here. So oftentimes go back, come underneath, my elbow drops, and then my hand jumps.
That's how you get
Even if I jump only one hand.
I see.
So I go from forearm blocking, maybe I block it a few times, go bring both hands under, freeze, both hands slide, and now body weight is here.
And what's your objective in doing this?
I want you to feel that you cannot begin any types of attacks. Because how can you begin attacking me when you're not even, you're not even free? So his focus is now freeing himself from my control instead of advancing his attacks. So I would say that if you invest 20, 30 seconds of this, it's a whole different guard you will have to deal with than if you land here and you start to pull and do this. It's completely different, night and day. Who expects? When was the last time someone was in your guard and then here?
Nobody.
And now all I'm saying is,
except for one student who did a private class with you, and they did this, and I was so frustrated. No, some other person that did a private. I forgot who it was.
All I'm saying right now,
you've been training with Hito, and I felt it.
All I'm saying to you right now is, I have nowhere to be.
Yeah.
Except for right here.
Frustrating you.
And I know you want your hands.
I want them back.
But I'm not going to give them to you very easily.
So I have to open guard, and then open guard means easy pass.
Not even, potentially. It could be easier pass. At least less dangerous.
And at least you don't have to open my guard.
Correct, less dangerous.
There you go. So,
now, this system here,
this is more likely to happen for you guys 90% of the time. 90% of the time you're going to be here, bicep, head in the center.
Come under faster. Well, he got under. Come on, more. Boom. Pull your arm out. Even this, freeze. Look at that. You're gonna probably peel it off. There, peel it off. You see that? Now I go to here. So come under my arm. I pinch it, and now I grab 2-on-1. I expect you to grab this. As you peel that off, I go right to here. I don't expect to control the hands for that long.
I see.
Rip your hand free. Now keep your feet crossed. Rip your feet.
No,
it's okay. It might happen.
I see.
Now back to here again. And now look, I'm here.
Yeah.
And then when watching.
But so if I go high, you come in.
Yes.
And if I go low, you go high. Yeah.
Because if I'm here, start to sit up, I don't want him to hug my neck and pull me down. Because now my hands are on the outside potentially.
I see.
Although they could still stay here.
Yeah, then you're
and
safe.
now when he lets go of my head, I posture a little bit, come under my elbows faster. Elbow block, grab the hand. You see it's a slide, it's a jump. Come under faster, freeze. From here, I trust that hand really wants to go. Boom.
It's not going to go anywhere.
It's not very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare that it will touch it again, touch it, and I'll go out. No, come on, insist.
Yeah.
Now if he's insisting and he gets through, my other hand grabs. But if he, go touch it, I'll go back. If it doesn't get through at all,
you're good.
Then I slide and I jump and I pin.
And then wrist locks and hand pins. It's the most important thing, you guys, for today, for all of you guys, is don't think you have to pass the guard. That's a good question. I go to the seminar and it's okay. Person's on the bottom of the guard. One other person is inside the guard. Who has the responsibility for the next move? Who is the onus on for progress right now? Invariably, top person, they have to pass the guard. The person who's inside the legs has to remove themselves from inside those legs.
Now,
that's the disease.
When we're on the bottom, we don't behave that way though. Every day, when people find themselves in the bottom of guard,
yes,
they don't behave as if the onus is on the top person.
Correct.
And we know that because they begin attacking
1 second.
within the first 1, 2, 3 seconds of being there. Because if you really, the question is this, is it easier to submit somebody, if you're on the bottom, is it easier to submit them when they are sitting there still watching you, or when they're trying to pass a little bit? I think B. When they're trying to do a little something, they're more exposed to being triangled or cross-choked or who knows. So if you really believe that the responsibility falls on the top person to pass, the next time you're on your back, don't go for any submissions for the first 10, 15 seconds and see how in their attempts to pass, they will give you small windows of opportunity to catch them.
There you go. Next question.
Yes. James is asking, there's a wrestler, someone very heavy holding you down. How do you get up? And there was another question regarding how to get up when there's a man on top of you, or in a street fight when you just want to get up.
Guard. Yeah. So when you're on the bottom of the guard and maybe you have to press that eject button and you have to get up and get out of the fight right now. You know, that's where guard get-ups come into play. And guard get-ups were, you know, never an organic part of jiu-jitsu way back when, because there was never a need to just get up. You're just fighting until you fight. But more recently, teaching more law enforcement who are loaded up with weapons and need to escape from the fight right away, and teaching women who need to defend themselves and get out from the bottom of a sexual assault, those two law enforcement and teaching women have enabled us to spend a lot of time focusing on ways of getting up from the bottom of the fight that have then translated into regular master cycle classes, and professional MMA fighters who might be on the bottom of the fight have to get back to their feet to win the round on the stand-up if they're having trouble winning on the ground fight. So for all those reasons, we have some guard get-ups, and the basic concept is this. I'll show you the most likely to be used one. You're half inside position, maybe they're putting some weight on you. The idea is frame out, get to a knee shield and a foot on the hip. This is the angle you want to get to. And you might even start from stage 3, where you're here blocking punches, he's up, and all you need to do from stage 3 is angle your pelvis, put one foot on the pelvis, and just kind of go into it. So it's this modified stage 3. He's going to be up, leaning over the top of me, and then we're going to kick knee, and we're going to get up and get out. Okay? So it's a knee chop with an arm drag. So we're here, blocking, blocking, blocking. I drop my hip, I make this angle. This is the position that you want to get into right before go time. Is angled, modified stage 3, foot on the pelvis, knee shield, hands in front of your face. Ideally top wrist control. Okay, with the hand right here. And then you're going to blast this bottom knee right here, and you're going to fully extend. As I extend this kick out, I'm also going to straighten this leg. And I'm going to drive his hand across to the to the ground right here. I always kick the outside leg. The only exception is if he posts the outside leg, like here, I'll kick the inside leg. Boom. And do the exact same thing. And then right away, you're up in base, or you're kind of circling back for anaconda, guillotine. If he drops down, you can jump on his neck at the instant moment. So once you understand that concept of, okay, wrist controls, angled stage 3, knee chop, arm drag, and get up, that's the best bet you're going to have for an absolute get up. And the prerequisite for all of this is that you get his hand across your body and on the ground. Because if you don't do that, if his hand stays here, at any moment he can hug my body and embrace me. So getting the arm across, kind of this arm drag, is how I'm unembraceable. Now I can get up and surface freely from underneath the subject. This shin laying back over there one time. This shin right here, his foot to the other side. His foot is actually hooking my body. And we're back again. And now this knee, it's a nice play right here where the knee's not too low, because then my body collapses over it. And it's not too high, because then I kind of fall back in the guard. So really like almost pointing right to my shin, the foot not even stepping on my hip. No, just hooked outside.
Hooking the outside.
And the reason that foot's important is because if my foot was relaxed, he can push my leg across, and it just falls across his body. But if my foot is active, when he pushes my leg across, it hooks his back.
And the person in my position, giving energy to reach forward, towards him or to reach for him is very important versus just sitting here.
I do this all the time. I do this in BJJ practice all the time. Watch your back over there. Just pivot a little. I do this. This is one of my favorite sweeps. I'll be playing from here, and homeboy's not leaning on me. I'm here, and they're chilling. I retract, and I go boom. And I'm up.
Which even
kick sweep, kick in the chest sweep. I love it. If their heels, if their butt is on their heels, I'll do kick sweeps for life right now. I'll blast you in the chest, and you go, oh my gosh, I didn't know we were kicking from here.
To some people, sometimes
keep it straight.
You gotta be aware of their legs a little bit. Or not
no, if they're sitting on their heels, they're gonna be okay. They're gonna fall right over. You're fine. You're okay. I know what's up.
Great. Now, it's perfect. Knee
shield
placement, leaning forward.
guard get up, you guys. If more access to that, check the Women Empowered program. All the guard get up variations, there's I think 8 or 9 of them, are all there. Advanced, basic variation, they're amazing. Next.
When would you consider getting up when you find yourself inside somebody's guard, and where your legs should be? What is the place to be when you decide to get up?
Standing guard pass.
Yes.
So when do you get up inside someone's guard versus when do you stay kneeling inside someone's guard?
And how?
And yeah, here's the thing, you guys, with standing guard passes versus kneeling, and there's not going to be a blanket answer here for everyone. It's going to be different for everyone. However, my belief is if I'm more concerned about submissions, then I want to stand up. If I'm more fearful of your submissions, I want to stand up. If I'm more fearful of getting swept by you because you're more of a sweeper from the guard, I want to stay kneeling and pass low. Low passes help prevent sweeps. Standing passes make submissions much more difficult and out of reach. This is a very generic answer. So who are you dealing with? Are you dealing with the triangle master of the whole academy? And if that's the case, you should get standing and pass the guard standing up. If you're dealing with the person who has the best De La Hiva guard and sweeps and sport guards and tangled up, stay low, stay kneeling, and pass tight, and keep their feet out of the fight as much as possible by being inside their thighs and passing with a nice underhook pass or a nice knee slice, but close the distance on that person who would otherwise try to, sweep you.
Now, this is advice for those that want to avoid submissions and sweeps. But I find myself standing up when somebody is very, very sportive. I purposely stand up because I want to feel how they can get in.
Now you're exploring, yes.
Yes, and exploring is 99% of what we do.
Right.
All we do all day is explore jiu-jitsu. So I do agree that standing is a little more risk to be caught in these, X guards and De La Hiva guards. But I also believe that only by standing will you see people enter into those guards, and then you will learn small angles and positionings where you can avoid them from getting too deep into their controls and capitalizing and seizing the moment to pass from standing.
There you go.
Don't be afraid to stand because someone has great sweeps. Be excited to get swept.
Exploration versus effectiveness mindset or concern.
In a street fight, what can you do if your opponent's fist can still reach you? Can still reach your face from stage 1?
In a street fight, what can you do if your opponent's fist can still reach your face from stage 1? What they mean is this. They mean we're here, and that hand coming on the corner still has access. Okay, right? That's what they mean.
I imagine.
Okay, so here's the deal. We teach this to the kids also because they're shorter and much smaller, obviously. That what happens is this. We have 3 problems and 2 arms to neutralize those problems. Okay? Not counting my legs. What are the 3 problems? Punch, punch, posture. There's 3 things we got to deal with. If Hito's main concern is posture, sit up. I'm going to hold his head. If his main concern is punching with that other arm, I'm going to trap that arm. Maybe I'll switch. If his main concern is punching with both arms, lean on me a little more and reach my face. I'm going to trap both arms and not hold his head. Now touch my face. I don't care whose arm it is, they're not going to reach. The only time they can reach is if you were in stage 1 stagnant, and now that hand is coming around the corner, and they're having effect. So one method is to hook the neck and draw this down very low, like raking his head down and using your elbow to pinch or block that punch. That's one method. The other method is ignore the head altogether. If you feel that they're driving, put your knees back a little further. If I feel like he's driving, I might go to double arm control. So he can't touch my face if that's the annoying part. Then he starts trying to headbutt me. Then I go back to blocking headbutts and holding his head. Then he sits up and I hug his neck. Then he reaches for my face and I drop down and I switch over because this is his prominent punching arm. So the point is, don't be too fixed on the technique. Be more adaptive to the threat and say, okay, right now, nothing matters more. Because here's what you have to understand. At any given time, your opponent has one primary objective. Not 2. You can have 3 sub-objectives, but one primary. You can have many secondaries, one primary. Whatever that primary is, if it's posture, all head control. If that primary is throwing wide looping punches from stage 1 and leaning their weight on you, then you can go double arm control, so it's totally possible.
Punches are also very exhausting, right? We talk about. And a lot of times, especially if you're training wearing gloves and you're getting hit, you could be registering that strike as extremely dangerous. But it's not.
Yeah.
They're hitting your head, and there is value in almost allowing yourself to get hit when you know that it is
A 2 or a 3.
ineffective
Yep.
and it's effectively draining their energy.
Yes.
So to make a big change in your position because someone's hitting you with a 2 or 3 in the side of your head, it might not be the move.
There you go.
Allow them to keep doing that.
So how do we know the number? We've talked about this. You guys have all seen the punch power scale, right? A punch is a function of the position of delivery as well as the number of joints involved in the delivery. So if you're on the bottom, this is a level 1 punch. If he has my arm wrapped, I'm here and I'm hitting him. That's a level 1. Level 2 would be if I had my here and I have my whole arm. Boom, boom, boom. Level 3 is I throw my whole shoulder into it. Level 4 is my hips can rotate. And level 5 is if he's on top of me with the whole body behind it. So when he don't think is when there's like a 1 or a 2, this or this type of punch, don't register this arm punch as a full body knockout potential punch. Because sometimes this right here is more exhausting than it is damaging. And let it happen. If it's exhausting, it's good for us.
You guys wanna,
We can do some philosophy if it's coming in, and then we'll start talking about our giveaways, but let's get to some wide open, broader questions, concept questions.
before more a broader one, this one is, what should I do if I'm the smallest person in my class and people just muscle me out of a position that is accurate or well applied?
What if you're the smallest person in class, and you're the smallest person at the school, and you just regularly are getting thrown out of your positions of control, and you know, that's it, right? You just kind of get thrown around like a rag doll. Basically, what do I do if I'm the rag doll of the academy? What's your advice? Should they just quit?
It is very discouraging. This is how kids sometimes feel when kids move into adult classes.
Yes.
Like 12, 13,
What's the
14 years
point?
old. There are some adults that are very helpful with children,
Right.
that allow themselves to be controlled. They give the child just enough energy. And then there are some adults that throw kids around and they, I want to say, treat them like rag dolls, how the
Yeah.
question was asked.
Right.
And depending on the person's personality, depending how their day has been going, sometimes being thrown off a position 3, 4, 5 times, 10 times in a day, you can walk away feeling like, this is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is a message for both people. Just be aware of how you treat other people. It affects how they feel about themselves and their chances of doing jiu-jitsu. And the last thing any one of us wants is to treat somebody in a way to where they tell themselves, I can't do this, I'm never going to learn this. Now, we can't control how people will push and throw us around the mat.
True.
But we can control how we feel about being pushed and being thrown around. And you mentioned something earlier in terms of, let's say you side mount someone or you mount somebody and they throw you off in 7 seconds. Muscle you off. You can see that and say, dang, I was thrown off in 7 seconds. And then you go there again the next day or the next week. Focus only on control. And if you hold them down now for 12, 14 seconds, that's a major victory. Even though you might not see that, you're complaining still that you got thrown off again versus seeing that they now had to try 3 times to throw you off. Or they had to try 4 times. The last time we rolled, I remember, or a few times ago, I mounted you and he tried to escape once. Boom, failed. Tried again, failed. Tried again, escaped. And my feeling was not, he escaped. My feeling was like, that's right, you failed twice. I stopped you twice. Now what? That was my energy. You see, I won right there. Because I stopped 2 of his most honest escape attempts. And I made an acai bowl. And I celebrated. That whole night was a celebration because he failed twice. Not because I lost on the 3rd one.
I always think of Jordan. Jordan's one of our instructors, one of our head instructors, been with us training for 25 years. I mean, the kid's started, he was 6 or 7 years old. Now he's, approaching 30 here. So Jordan is amazing. And he's a small guy.
I think he's over 30.
Maybe. I would suspect so.
He's still, in our minds, he's still 14.
He's still, yeah, kid. But listen, Jordan's Jordan's like maybe 5'6", and most of his, jiu-jitsu career is, 150 pounds or less. Just a small guy. But he's an amazing instructor, an amazing technician, but he had, as a kid, he was always the smallest kid, and he was always the smallest adult in the whole academy. Today he's one of our best instructors. So Jordan,
one of our best
students.
Performer.
Oh yeah, he's the most, yeah, he'll choke you
He's
out
an
for sure.
athlete
He'll
now.
choke all of you guys watching this video. So Jordan is amazing. But the point is, he was always small, he was always getting thrown off. And now, when Jordan lands in a position of dominance, he has the best balance and control, pound for pound, than anybody in the whole building. Meaning, if Jordan lands on you, he's so aware of his positions and angles of exploitation that you will exploit him from, that he preempts those now, and he's sticky as imaginable, balanced little freaking spider monkey. You can't throw him, it's ridiculous. He's just so sticky, so balanced, so aware of where he can be compromised. The point I'm saying is this: it'll be difficult to hold down big guys for a long time. Think of what you're asking to do, small person. You're thinking of being 150 pounds, 140 pounds, and holding down someone who's 200 pounds. Nature doesn't want that to be possible.
Or maybe it does.
Jiu-jitsu makes it possible, but you just got to put in the time and remember the Boyd belts. Every 20 pounds counts as a belt, and every 10 years of youth counts as a belt. So if someone's 40 pounds heavier and 10 years younger, that's 3 belts advantage they have on you. Which means if you're both blue belts, they're a brown belt, and you're a blue belt, and you're 140 pounds, and they're muscle, 180 pounds, 200 pounds, and 10 years younger. So the point is, you're just trying to catch up to where you can at least hold that person down. Not all students, in a sense, not everybody's created equally, and we all need different amounts of jiu-jitsu to get us to equalize against the opponents that we're trying to be effective against. But let me just say this: there's no better investment of your time than jiu-jitsu. Jordan could have lifted weights his whole life, 27 years, bench pressing hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and not been as deadly or as effective at controlling other human beings and protecting himself as he is today. He could have been the most bodybuilder of the world and still get choked out in 7 minutes by Jordan, the jiu-jitsu Jordan, not the musclehead, bodybuilder Jordan.
So
Am I making myself clear?
Of course, everything that happens to you is a small lesson.
Everything is going to make you Jordan one
Now,
day.
how you look at what happens to you will determine whether or not you take it as a lesson or as a problem or as a
Deficiency of why you should quit jiu-jitsu because you get thrown off by big guys.
Don't do that.
And here's what's crazy: everyone who's watching this video right now, you're all Jordan to someone.
You mount me, I'll show you that you're Jordan.
You're Jordan to someone. So don't listen to this and say, oh, those are people under 150 pounds. That's what the video is. No, this lesson is for every single person who's ever been thrown off by a muscly person.
Or even a technical person, because I got thrown off.
You got
The other day you escaped. After third try, you escaped. I am Jordan.
So we're all Jordan. Jordans. Next.
And Jordan is, we're all Eddie Gracie. Eddie Gracie would say
Eddie
that.
Gracie. Jordan. Yeah, that's a little too much hype for Jordan. So if
We're all Eddie Gracie.
Jordan, chill out. Eddie Gracie, that's right.
I am 18 years old. What are some steps or precautions that you recommend to protect my body the long run of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu journey?
Greatest question.
Well, why? He's 18
Hold
years
on, hold on.
old.
Someone's 18. You want to repeat the question?
Yeah, he's 18 years old, and he's asking about long-term
Health of his body.
What are some things that he can do, some precautions to protect himself?
I can tell you, I had back surgery
My
when I was
question
19.
When you're 18, you shouldn't even be worried about that. You should just be destroying your body. You know what I mean? 18, 23, you eat whatever you want, drink whatever you
Sleep
want.
wherever you
It's
want.
no problem. Don't even sleep. Sleep when you die. That's the energy. But that's not true. Do you understand? When you're 18, to be in the mindset of 18 years old, which our grandfather instilled this on us so much because he was obviously so much older.
He saw the long path for
He
us.
saw long term. He gave us so much advice on when you're 18 years old. Don't, for example, when someone throws you, post your head on the ground to maintain control
Right.
and damage your neck. And you talk about your back.
Yeah, stacking up. So listen, it's very simple. The answers to your question right now are very simple. Don't go, if a submission requires 100% of pressure, 100% to tap, or a stack, or a crank, or a neck, or anything, don't touch 100%.
Don't
That's it.
touch 90%.
Don't even touch 80%. 80% is the highest anything should go. What I mean is not 100% broken. I mean 100% until you have to tap, or it will next, at 101, it could be compromised. You should never pass 80% on a choke or an arm lock. Once it gets tied up, tap and go again. The people who tap the quickest and don't allow their bodies to get compromised very awkwardly are the ones who stand the best chance of training long and have a healthy body the whole way through.
And when the body gets stretched 70, 80%, it's healthy.
It's a good stretch.
But that beyond that 80, 90% is where now damage
Tearing.
can happen.
Yep, you start tearing. There you go. So I did not care about, no one told me this. I was Gracie Family Honor Challenge Match for Life, fight or die, right? This is the legacy you just suffer on the mat. So I let my body go to 99, 95, 97 regularly every single day from the ages 14, 12, all the way until 18, 19, until I had herniated disc, back surgery, shoulder problems now because I let Americanas go too deep for too long. This shoulder's loose, this shoulder's not, so just too much. Even with students, when I teach classes, I would let them go so deep on the submission just to kind of show how flexible I was, but now I regret it. So the rubber band that constantly gets stretched to its max before popping, eventually doesn't have the elasticity, right, that you would like it to have in long term. So keep your rubber bands elastic. Go a little, barely, but come back, but not to the point of ripping anything. Okay? Next question. Actually, before we do, we have some t-shirts for you guys we want to give away. Okay? Show them that one, Guido. Check it out. We're going to give you guys away right now. We're going to sign these for you. If you guys want us to sign them, autographed, personalized, we'll do that for you. We can do it on the back, on the front. This is one of our best sellers right now. We got the Ala Blanca right now in the royal blue leverage t-shirt, and then this one right here. You don't have to be a black belt. You just have to want to be a black belt one day to know that. Or jiu-jitsu applies to everyday life.
Maybe you don't even want to be a black belt. You just appreciate what the black belt means.
Which means jiu-jitsu. So we're going to give these away right now. So right now, same thing, you guys. Put your t-shirt size and put your CTC. Right now, leave a comment. Start firing those comments. Only one per person. We don't want to see multiple. We're seeing in the last couple of web streams, you guys are flooding it with 13, 15, 300 entries. Just one per person.
That's not jiu-jitsu.
And we're going to scroll. We're going to choose 3 people, 3 separate people. We're going to choose. We're going to autograph and personalize, and then we'll shoot these out to you guys at your CTC. Your shirt size and your CTC location. And while you guys are doing that, firing that, Evandro has 1 or 2 more questions for us, and then we'll wrap it up here. Yes, sir.
Regarding parenting, because you guys have 2 kids, do you raise your second child different than the first one, or raise it the same?
The question is, we both have 2 kids, the parenting question. If you don't have kids, listen up, because you're going to be there one day potentially, and then you're going to need this advice. If you have kids, listen up, because we have 2 kids each, 2 boys, 2 girls, and they're a couple years apart, 2 or 3 years apart. The question is, do you raise your second child the same as you raise your first child?
That's impossible.
That's true.
It's impossible because you have a first child.
Now, the environment they came into is entirely different, now in a very real way, than what the first child showed up to.
And there are things that I intentionally did differently with my second child.
Interesting.
Like, for example, not giving my second child a pacifier. No pacifier for you, I'm sorry. You just never even know what it is. And that's because I saw the pacifier for the first child.
Right.
So you just kind of recycle. You watch you raise the first child for 1, 2, 3, 4 years. The second one comes and you make small adjustments.
So the answer is it's impossible to do it the same, but the values that you see succeeding in the first child, you recycle to the next one. But man, I'll tell you this right now, my second child, Henson, the little one, he's a freaking tank. Because he's getting tossed, tumbled, jiu-jitsu'd. Haven just tackles him when they're just fighting on the living room floor. So there's automatically this resilience and willingness to just jump off ledges and do stuff that is just more, it's weird. Like, he's just different. People said they're going to be different no matter what. I didn't believe it. Now that I have 2, and to see Henson's differences with Haven, and Haven's just a much more cautious, boom, and then Henson's just, it's wild to see the difference. I'm excited about it, and they're great matching for one another, and I can't wait to see them, grow up and get in a lot of trouble together.
Yeah, the big thing about raising kids, though, is, if I could give one advice, it is being very open to changing the way that you're doing things.
That's it, yeah.
So it's very easy to, for example, every time your children, let's say, don't want to eat their dinner, for you to respond with something of a threatening manner. Eat your dinner or else you're not going to watch TV for a week. That's not wrong to do that. You can say that. But be open to trying something else. Like saying, you don't have to eat your dinner. That's no problem. Go to sleep hungry. Parents have a hard time saying go to sleep hungry.
Right.
Or if you don't eat your dinner, that's okay. And what you're just telling me that, who knows, that maybe for lunch you should eat more food. I won't make dinner for you at night if you want to skip dinner. So just be a little more open. There's no problem with them skipping dinner. Or if the kid, every time they go in the car, they need to be on an iPad or on a phone when they're driving in the car.
Right.
And they have an attitude, give me an iPad. You don't, let's say you don't have it one day.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem in the car. Now you just say, okay, you're telling me now is that you don't want to drive in the car. And if you don't want to drive in the car, we're not going to be able to go here or here, which is somewhere they might enjoy going.
Yes.
And be willing not to go to their gymnastics class or their jiu-jitsu class that day, or to the park to see their friend, or to a birthday party on the weekend.
I see.
Because you're obviously having a hard time in the car seat. I'm not going to force you to go to a birthday party on a Sunday, let's just stay home.
Yeah,
Because there's no iPad today.
I love that. So one of the best advice, and we'll leave with this one. One of the best advices Hidon ever gave to me and to Eve. They were parents before us, about a year or two before us. And one thing was as simple as, let's say it's time to, maybe they are watching TV or they're doing something, and it's time to end. First of all, it's always a countdown. It's, hey, one more minute and then we're going to leave, okay? And then it's time for us to leave, right? That's number one. Or one more minute, Haven, then it's time to turn off the TV, right? So there's already a respect, right? You talk to him like you would talk to a normal person.
Because imagine Henry himself, us too, right now is doing something on his phone.
He's on his phone. And then you just,
And I just say, no more phone.
the time's up on the phone.
Or forget that. No more phone, and I just push live for a live stream to begin.
Right.
There's no consideration of what you're doing.
Yes. So there it is. So that level of, hey, Haven, one more minute, and then we're going to have dinner here. And then when the minute is up, walking up to him, don't say, okay, Haven, turn off the TV. Or give me the remote. Or you just walk up and go, boom, turn it off. What you do is you walk up and say, Haven, it's time to have dinner, food's ready. Would you like to turn it off, or would you like me to turn it off? That piece of advice right there shaped for the rest of his life how we interact. And it's so empowering. It builds so much confidence. It gives so much autonomy to a kid to say, oh no, I'll do it. And what's crazy is every single time we go and I say, Haven, it's time. Do you want to do it or should I? He always cooperates and he turns it off himself. It's never a battle. And then I see other parents with their kids and it's like, turn it off. No, I want it. Give it to me right now. And I'm like, wow, they never built that relationship where, hey, it is time. And if you want me, I can do it, or you can do it yourself. The power of saying, no, I'll do it. I got it. Boom. And having that involvement in the process is priceless.
Yeah. So, I taught you, Victoria taught me.
There you go. Victoria taught me then.
Victoria learned it somewhere, started applying it, and it worked. I saw it work in front of my own eyes. So then,
I'm going to choose a winner.
talk about it.
Who's going to win? You know, tell them a little bit more about.
What about when the kid says, I don't want dinner? You say dinner is in 1 minute, and they say, no, I don't want dinner, I just want to keep watching TV. I would not even be against the child continuing to watch TV and their dinner not be served to them. Because wouldn't that be cool? Like to then be hungry an hour and a half later? So assuming that you're older, like you're 7 or 8, if you're 2 or 3, it's a little tricky. Because you shouldn't be watching that much TV when you're 2 or 3. But when the kid is like 7 or 8, I don't want dinner, they can now, okay, you can watch your show on your phone for another hour, half an hour. But then they go to bed hungry. And then when they go to bed hungry, and now they're in bed after reading some books or being in their room for an hour and a half, they say, my stomach's hurting, I'm a little hungry. And I say, oh, what a good lesson for you. You missed the window. The dinner window was missed. Maybe tomorrow, when I remind you that, it's dinner time, you'll join us. Because, again, if somebody wants to skip a meal, there's absolutely no problem there. Parents have this weird idea that you just have to keep jamming food down kids' throats. As if they skip a meal every other day, something's going to happen. No, don't worry about that. People all around the world are skipping meals every day. Kids of all ages. So your kids will be just fine. And you can save some food. And you can eat more. I can even eat more myself. So don't worry too much about them. It's not affecting their safety. Now, if you don't want to wash your hands before coming in the house, that's unacceptable. Then in that case, stay outside. You can just sit right here by the front door for the next hour and a half. Let me know when you want to join the family again. But as for eating a meal, skip it all day.
Okay, we got to get a few winners. So, let me pull this up right here actually. So, we got one. So Kevin Miller from the CTC in Colorado Springs. Kevin Miller, CTC Colorado Springs. You got one. We're looking here. You writing these down? Terry O'Grady from the CTC in Tampa. Terry O'Grady, Tampa, with Emiliano and the crew over there. Needs a large. Kevin Miller, Terry O'Grady, and let's get one more right here. Perfect. Good. And Jager Sylvie, Harrison, Arkansas, CTC, size small. So all of you guys, talk to your CTC owners. They're going to connect you with us. and we'll get your guys' sizes and t-shirt preferences. Check the website. We'll get your t-shirt preferences, let us know which one you want. We'll autograph it if you want.
They can pick up.
One of these right here they can pick, or they can all have this one if they want. They can all have this one. It's okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we'll hook you up. Or just let us know your t-shirt size, email us, we'll send you out one of our favorites, and we'll make it happen. Friends, it was a pleasure. Today was a real pleasure. Real pleasure.
So fun.
So, what should we do next weekend? Back row? Half guard, half guard. Half guard? Half guard.
And tomorrow.
And tomorrow morning, Women Empowered. How many of them have someone right now that they love, that they want to bring tomorrow to Women Empowered seminar and do it with their loved one? Talk to them right now.
Again, if that person lives with you, it's great.
Chances are she does, yeah. That's it. And ladies, if you're watching right now, and
Are you gonna make sure to get some advice
on
on
what?
to how to practice with the woman tomorrow?
Yes.
Because many of them are gonna, especially the men out there,
Men who are
are
watching
gonna be
right now.
introducing the women in their lives
To jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
Let me talk to you as a woman right now. Listen, don't mess it up, okay?
Don't do anything unless instructed to.
Yeah, whatever you
So
feel like,
until tomorrow.
whatever you feel like doing, do the opposite.
All you do until tomorrow is
Don't.
say, honey, or daughter, or whoever, there's
10
something
a.m.
that I need you to watch with me tomorrow. And then you show up, and your mindset, you know nothing about what is about to happen tomorrow. All you know is that you're going to show up and do exactly what Henner says. No, not what Henner says. Exactly what Eve says.
There you go. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time. All of you guys are invited. Find someone you love and that you're quarantined with, and let's get down. Let's go some basic Women Empowered escapes. And then every weekend, we're going to keep getting down. Bully Proof, Master Cycle, Women Empowered, and the journey continues. Thank you guys for joining us. Always a pleasure. Watch your base when you guys stand up. And Jiu-Jitsu for life.